And my stepdad came in the house and he heard my mom like banging on the door. She had broke one of the hinges from banging so hard. And he grabbed her and he held her back, and somehow or another the cops got called. I found, you know, my stepdad. I don't want to talk to my father, because why the fuck didn't anybody tell me what was going on? Like, now I know my mom is sick, but why didn't anybody tell me that she was sick? That pissed me off. So here we go with the control thing again, and my anxiety and how I'm gonna respond to my emotions. So I got angry, I lashed out, I pushed people away, I did everything I could to tell them go to fucking hell, because it was unacceptable to me. I ended up just totally going into myself. I mean, I think I went almost an entire year without saying one word to my father or to his woman, because they are not married. They're still not married. I don't think that I said anything to my stepfather, because my mom was literally in the hospital for almost that entire year too. It took that long for her recovery. And during this time, I spent a lot of time researching, and this is before I went to high school, all of this. So I was still friends with, you know, the girl across the street, and I spent a lot of time with them because I didn't want to be at either household. And I don't know why, but I could not stop looking through the phone book. I was in the phone book every day. I was trying to call numbers and ask people if they could help me. I told them my whole story. I just need somebody to talk to. I just need somebody to tell me what to do. Please help me. Nobody in my family will help me. And there's this one lady, and she said that she would help me, and I called her every day. And she was like, well, I can't do this right now, but I really want to do is start a support group for children whose parents have any type of mental health. And I'm like, well, let's do it. And I pushed her until one day she just did it. And we just met in this little office, you know, and there was a bunch of kids there, and some parents had alcohol problems or drug problems or mental health problems or whatever, depression, and we all talked about it. And when I left, I felt better, and I kept going until I felt like I knew when my mom was going to go through her episodes, what triggered her episodes, how I should respond to her episodes. And that's what really got me started in psychology, because it really made me wonder why people do what they do, if they can control what they do. Because a lot of people say, well, it's not her fault, you can't blame her. But I felt like anyone and everyone can control their emotions. Your emotions are caused by your thoughts. Learn to control your thoughts. And I still feel that way. As a child, I told people I put full responsibility on her. And I still do. This is a big thing for me, and all people are like, oh, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. But that, to me, is bullshit. It might sound harsh, but it's the truth. You can control what you think. Somebody can come up to you and say, like, oh my gosh, you're so fucking fat. Like, your hair looks like horse's hair. You should go kill yourself. And then you might be thinking like, oh my gosh, I am fat. I'm so ugly. Like, my hair is horrible. I shouldn't even be living. But somebody else come along and say, you won $1 million, and now you're on top of the fucking world. Your emotions change like that. You know what I mean? So we have to find a way to get control of it. And that has been like my focus. I have had the hardest time controlling my emotions because I still push people away. I still have anxiety. I still have a lot of insecurities. As me and my mother's relationship continued on, she was still sick. And that was like, I didn't want her to die by her own hand. There was a time where she tried to overdose, and this was not that long ago. And a family member called me and told me that my mom was dead. And I was like, what? Stop playing. I hung up the phone. And they called me 2 or 3 other times and kept saying it. And then I started getting pissed. I said, stop playing. It turns out she really was in the hospital, and she had completely flatlined. She had not been resuscitated in like 45 seconds to a minute. That is a long ass time when you're not breathing and your heart's not beating. That is a long time. That is brain damage. You may not wake up at all. And when I heard that, the nurses and the doctors would not let me in. My entire family was there on my mom's side. And I couldn't figure out How the hell do all of them know? How did they get here before I got here? What is going on? Why did she do this? Because I was driving. I had a job. I was out of high school. And I had just went to see my mother not even 30 minutes before I got the phone call. So I was completely confused of what had happened. Turns out that there was something on the news that had happened near my father's home. And she thought that my father had shot my brother, that did not happen. And so she took all of her medication that was sitting in front of her, because she's on a ton of medication, and overdosed. And she called the ambulance as soon as she swallowed it and said, by the time you get here, I'll be dead. Now, if you're wondering what my mom is diagnosed with, she has diagnosed with tons and tons and tons of mental health things. Like, they just don't know what the hell it is. That's another reason why I want to start studying psychology, because they said that she was a manic depressant. She was a schizophrenic. She was suffering from regular depression. She was bipolar. I mean, it changed every time she had a serious episode, which caused for her to be hospitalized for more than 2 weeks. And I'm like, how the last time was she this and now she's this? Well, it can alter itself. No, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, A. Or B, she's lied to you. Because of whatever she thinks, she lied to you, so you don't know the full story. So then I started trying to figure out, what's going on with my mom? How can I help her? What do I need to know? But the day that she tried to kill herself, I thought it was over. I thought that I lost the battle. I thought that this was how I was going to die. Because if she's gone, I'm going to be left with the guilt, and the guilt could kill me. Nobody else is going to help me. Nobody even wants to talk to me, because when I showed up to the hospital, apparently my mother had called everyone and told them that I had come over to the house and beat her. So yeah, they believed me when I told them that I seen her, but they thought that I put my hands on her and I harmed her. Now remember, none of these people really have a relationship with me, because we've all been broken off from each other. So why they believe her when they know she's sick, I don't know. But they did. So I'm coming in and I'm having to deal with the nurses telling me they're not going to help me. She's dead, let it go. And my family's telling me, you're a hateful bitch. What the fuck did you do? So I'm like, what? Like, I couldn't deal with it. My dad was standing there like, I can't believe she's gone. I can't believe she did this. I'm asking him where my brother is. He's saying he don't know. He's going to have to go search the streets. Now that's crazy. Like, I just said, fuck it. I got all my stuff. I went to the bathroom, and I think I had my first anxiety attack. For real. But during this attack, in my mind, I'm not in control of what's happening around me at this point, because I've just lost it. I've just given up completely, emotionally, and I've lost it. But I am praying harder than I've ever prayed before. And I know that I can't fix it. Everybody thinks I'm the enemy. The doctors won't fix it. My dad can't fix it. My mom has done it, so she can't make it right. God is the only one who can, because I see the devil all around me. So I'm asking him, please put your hand on this situation. I know that you can fix this. I know it's not her time to go, and I know you're trying to tell me something in this moment, but I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to handle it. And when I left the bathroom, they told me that her heart had been started up again, and she was still on all these, tubes, and everything was hooked up to her, but she was alive. So 3 days in intensive care, 2 weeks at the hospital, and she came home. I asked them what was going to happen now, when she was in intensive care. And they were saying, like, well, she could have damage to her brain because she was out for so long. We don't know if she could have kidney damage, liver damage because of the medication that was put through her system. They had to do dialysis on her for 2 days in a row just to get the medication out. They still do not know what she took. During this time where she's in intensive care, I had to go back to the house because the paramedics, when they came, they had to break the door down to get in. Everything was all everywhere. People could get in through the house because the door was broken. It was a fucking mess. My stepdad wasn't there anymore, if you're wondering, because him and her had gone through it, and she thought that he was trying to hurt her and drug her. So she had already called the police on him. He went to jail, which he got found to be completely innocent of all charges. But they still told him that, you know, she is allowed to file a restraining order, which she had. Even though this is his house, he must leave. So he didn't want to help her when she was at the hospital, and he was upset and concerned about his house and what was happening with the house. Girl, this is what I'm saying. All of those things happened to me. And after it was all said and done, I did go see a psychologist, because when my mom woke up from everything, she wanted to divorce him. And all this stuff with the courts and the back and the forth, I started having anxiety attacks, as I had in the hospital that day. And during those times, I was asking God, like, I'm going to be sick. Is that what you're telling me? That I'm going to get what she has, because now it's affecting me. And it's starting to break me down mentally. And then it's affecting me physically. Because when my mom got out, nobody was there. Some people tried to be there, but her attitude and the way she treated them and the things that she would say that weren't true drove them away. I had to really, really tap into my relationship with God. And in order for that to happen, I had to be honest with myself and with him. I can't do this. I can't take on the pain. I can't take on raising somebody. I'm not ready. I don't know how to order her steps. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm still going to school. I'm still working a job. I lost one of my jobs because of my mother. I mean, I don't have a relationship with the people I'm supposed to. It's even worse than it was originally. And you would think we would be stronger because we have gotten through all of this, but all it did was tear us all apart. So I had to go to him and really tell him, like, I need you. I need you to take all the pressure. I need you to tell me what to do and how to do it and when to do it. But in order for that to happen, I had to have faith. How can somebody like me, with all these bad things that have happened to me, and nobody there for me to help me, have any faith in something that you can't see, touch, or feel? Because when I asked him to save her life, he did. He did when the doctor said, I'm not going back in there. He did when my family said, you're to blame. When they tried to tell the doctors that I shouldn't be able to come and see her. I had people calling me on the phone telling me they had arranged a funeral home for my mother, and they were picking out the clothes she would wear in her casket. So I had to really just dig deep and say, if you can do that, you can do this. I just had to be grateful for what was happening at the time. Even though it was really shitty, I had to find something to be happy about. And I was happy, honestly, that I wasn't, fully sick. I was scared I was going to get sick, but I was happy that I wasn't sick like my mom was. I ended up seeing a psychologist and having them evaluate me. And other than having some anxiety and having some pent up issues like fear and anger that I haven't dealt with, and forgiveness, which I did do the forgiveness thing, and that was hard. Woo! But yeah, they said I was completely fine. And it shocked the lady. She was like, I can't believe that after all of this that you're okay. Because anybody else I've seen that would be sick. Like, she was just completely blown away. And also, just so you know, this is not hereditary in my family. My mom's illness and things like that, it's not hereditary. This is something that she did on her own because her emotions broke her and she allowed it to break her mind. She dealt with a lot of different things, and then there was drugs involved, and then wham, you have a sickness. And if you keep feeding that, it'll get worse. So how do you deal with your emotions, and how do you change how you feel so that you don't end up like that, so far across the tracks you can't be pulled back? Think of your emotions as your body, which it is really. And let's use the analogy of weight loss. When you have your body and then you have your weight, if you don't eat right, you don't work out, you'll be fat or you'll be too skinny. It's going to be a detrimental thing to your health, meaning that you may not live as long as you want. You may not live a fulfilled life if you don't do those two things. So when it comes to your emotions, you have to fill your mind with God and you have to feed it with positive thoughts. If you don't have both of those and you don't keep feeding it that all the time, your emotions will be out of whack. And there's nothing that you can do about it. Those are the ways you get back in control. You have to talk to him. You have to think positive things. You got to just pull from one place that is that thing that happened to you that was amazing, that was awesome, that you couldn't have done by yourself, that you can't control, that you know only he did. And start with that. Build your faith upon that. Because if he can do that one little thing, he can do a million other things. I mean, God was killed. His friends sold him out. People that he didn't know tried to stone him. Nobody believed in him. Everybody disliked him. They only wanted him for the things that they could do for him. I mean, what if that was you? I couldn't bear that. I could never bear that. I couldn't bear what I went through. I thought, I'm still going through things right now. And I feel like these people are in control of me and they're trying to, I'm still battling with my emotions and I'm still trying to fix what's wrong, because I know that anything that's not positive in me, anytime I have an insecurity or I think something negative, it's not coming from God. It's coming from something deep down buried inside me that was planted there by the devil. So in order for me to deal with it and not let it affect me negatively, I need his help. And I have to know that he promised me that I was going to have a happy life. He promised me I was going to have everything that I wanted. I was going to be emotionally stable. I was never going to be sick like my mother. I'm going to have all the things in life that I desire and more. So I know that I can go to him and I can talk to him. I talk to God before I talk to people. And I have to remind myself that, because sometimes you get so upset, you just want to tell somebody. Tell him. Don't go run around telling your business to everybody else, because nobody can help you but him. It's like this. I learned that if you tell somebody, I want $1 million, people going to stick out their hand. Give me some. What can you do for me? But if you win that $1 million and you don't tell anybody but God, nobody has to know what you've received. Now, they'll see you living your life differently, and they'll see it if you go and you share it with them. But if you tell them beforehand, before you even get your blessing, they're not only going to want for themselves, they're going to try and take it from you. And if they can't take it from you, they're going to try to take the joy that you get from thinking about it from you. Maybe not even on purpose. Maybe just by accident, Like, why couldn't I win $1 million? Somebody should come and help me. Then now you feel bad because they don't have it either. So now you start questioning, well, why is it me that got it? I think they should have it too. Get control over your feelings. Start with him. Pay attention to the things that you think. When you think something negative, put something positive there. There's a million reasons to be grateful. But the number one reason to be grateful for why you feel shitty is because you are in the valley. The valley is the negative stuff that you're going through in your life, the trials and the bad times. And there are mountains that sit next to the valley. There's a mountain top at the top of the mountain. But nobody can climb the mountain. I can't just walk up to the mountain and start climbing, because I don't know how to climb it. I don't know where to start. I don't know what I need on my journey up. I'm going to fall. I'm going to fail. I'll probably break my leg trying. And if I break my leg, then I got to start at the bottom again. Stay in the valley. Build up your strength. Pick up the tools and the resources you need, so when you start climbing that valley, you will make it to the top. That's the whole point. So be happy that you're going through the problems that you're going through. Because if you don't, you'll be stuck there forever. I used to tell myself, I don't want to deal with this. I can't deal with this. It's too much. It's never too much. He never gives you more than you can handle. So if you're there for a reason. And you need to deal with it and you need to face it. Because God gives people tests. And if you fail the test, he will just send it to you again. You can't leave this classroom until you get a passing grade. There are some scriptures that I really think will help to remind you of things that he has promised you and how to help you pull through. You're going to need a support system when you're doing this. And if you need to put up signs in your house or repeat mantras in your head, do it. Do what you need to do to make the change happen. However, you need to remove whatever's going on in your life. Do it. If you are addicted to alcohol or to drugs, ask him how to take it out of your life, and he will take it away. I used to do drugs. I used to be addicted to drugs, like heavily, but I figured I had a control over. I figured it wasn't affecting me. It was affecting me in a lot of areas, and I really couldn't see that clearly until I had completely removed it from my life. And believe it or not, it's gonna sound crazy, but I just told God to take my urge away. I told him, when I'm doing this drug, make it where I don't like it. Make me get so high I'm freaking scared that I'm literally paralyzed to do it again. And I got so high that I thought I'd never come down. And I just didn't want it. Slowly but surely, I would do it less and less and less. And then people will be around me and say, oh, you want this? I said, no, I'm okay. I don't think I want it anymore. I mean, whatever it is that you need, he will give you. But you have to believe it. You have to believe it in your heart and know he's going to fulfill that. I'm telling you, if you don't believe in him, then you might as well just give up now. Because he loves and believes in you. And for you not to even give him any credit, that's the worst mistake ever. To not know your creator, to not know the things that he has planned out for you. Because you're so stuck here in this step that you'll never get where you're supposed to be going. And if you do get there, you'll be so late that you can only see this much of it before you pass away. Come on, people. Y'all got to get your things together and get stuff lined up. Me too. Don't think that I'm not in it with you, because I'm right here in it. I'm right next to you. And I'm ready to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing and stop wasting my time